Hi friends, it's Rabbi Briskin with a thought for Shabbat. In Brian Stevenson's extraordinary memoir called Just Mercy, he examines injustices in the U.S. judicial system and his work to exonerate wrongfully accused prisoners on death row. He writes about how getting close to these men changed his life and the trajectory of his career. In a speech at the 2016 Carnegie Summit, in which he shared his insights for working towards equity, he said, "We must get proximate to suffering and understand the nuanced experiences of those who suffer from and experience inequality. If you are willing to get closer to people who are suffering, you will find the power to change the world." When I first heard Stevenson speak several years ago, I was struck by his use of the word proximate. It comes through in his writings and so many of his speeches. We have to get close. We have to lean in to better understand someone's situation, especially their suffering. When we are proximate, greater empathy and understanding arises. In this week's Torah portion called Vayigash, we see how Jacob's son Judah and his younger brother Joseph get proximate. The Torah portion picks up from last week with Judah approaching Joseph, pleading for him to have mercy on their family, to keep him prisoner rather than his youngest brother Benjamin. By drawing near, Vayigash, that's the name of the portion, by drawing near, Judah made himself proximate in the eyes of Joseph. Joseph's heart softened and led to the dramatic reveal when Joseph, crying and anguished, revealed his identity to his brothers. It was because of proximity, in part, that Joseph's empathy and understanding broke through an otherwise callous facade. Rabbi Sharon Henry, in a Dvar Torah for Truah, the rabbinic call for human rights, speaks of this notion of being proximate as she reflected on her work with immigrant farm workers in Florida. It wasn't until she was proximate to them that she learned more and fully understood the injustices that they face, and knowing that the path of food from farm to table can include some deep suffering and injustice. Now let's be honest. Most of us are not proximate to people who are truly suffering from poverty, neglect, or marginalization. Yesterday, I met Kate and Jared from Bethany Ministries. They came to pick up the several dozen coats that Shirmi members have donated for Afghan refugees. The next step, I believe, is to become proximate with them, with these refugees. If we have an opportunity to draw near to learn about their lives, their stories, their suffering, and ultimately we hope their redemption in a new land, we can gain much greater understanding and appreciation of their experience in particular and the immigrant experience in general. It requires becoming proximate. I hope that we will have the opportunity to work with an Afghan family or two in partnership with other resettlement organizations. And when it arises, take advantage of the opportunity to become proximate in order to better understand them and to better understand ourselves. Shabbat Shalom.